Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta jana kalyane niratam karunamayam namami chinmayam devam sadgurum brahma vitvaram. In this few weeks that are left before we break for summer, we will see some of the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya, the great proponent of Advaita Vedanta. Vedanta, as you know, is a philosophy highlighting the purpose of our existence as liberation. So long as, or as long as, we give reality to the relative world, liberation is only a hypothesis and a dream. But when we realize that one has to become free, ultimately, that is the very journey of the soul and it has to end in that freedom, then the teachings become very relevant to us. Just like a person who is in the prison for 20-25 years and finally he is told, tomorrow you are going to be released and don't come back. I cannot come back. Krishna says in 15th chapter, very clearly, Tatapadam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata na nivartanti boya tameva chatyam purusham pravadye yata pravrittihi prasrita purani. Tatpadam parimargitavyam. That alone is the path you must pursue. Yad gatva na nivartante. Yasmin gata na nivartante. Tadhama paramam mama. That abode is mind where there is no coming back. Just like a prisoner inside, when he is told that he will be released tomorrow, and if he is very unhappy, so that means I cannot come back again. Which means that he has not been properly persecuted in the prison. So the jailer would say, come back, we will persecute you more. Then only you realize going out is freedom. In the process of being in the prison, we have become so familiar with the jailer and we are very satisfied with the food that they serve. Now that's what happens nowadays. This food in the prison is much more delicious and you don't need to work. TV is there, gym is there, and you can do anything. The people commit crime again and again, go back. Why? It's so comfortable. No security, no medical insurance. Nothing is necessary. Everybody is taken care. Get out again, commit something. Get inside. This is not their story, it is our story. We come back again and again and again, same place. And so Bhagavan says, okay, fine, I will have to persecute him so much that he will never would like to come back. So in persecution in our life, understand, Bhagavan is trying to get us out of it. If you get too comfortable here, overcrowded it becomes. Yadgatva nanivartante, having gone to which no coming back, tadhama paramam, that is my abode. So here, anything that we do to make sure that we free ourselves from our own shackles is sadhana. I told you about that. Sadhana is any effort and pursuit, anything that we do so that we get out of this so-called condition, limitations that we all persecute ourselves with or suffer. That is sadhana. Not to persecute others. I am getting persecuted, better I persecute others. That is not your sadhana. Release yourself, get out of this. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya has given 40 instructions in this text, short, small ones. In 5 verses, he has given 40 instructions, simple ones. You can choose to follow whatever you choose to follow. He doesn't insist anything. But they are all very much interconnected. If you take up one, it will lead to the other. So, sadhana Panchakam. Panchakam means 5 verses. So, we see here in the first verse which has 8 instructions. Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karma swanushtiyatam tene shasya vidhiyatam apachitihi kame matistyajyatam papauga paridhuyatam babasukhe dosho nusandhiyatam atmecha vyavasiyatam nijagrihat turnam vinirgamyatam. May you please follow this. That's what he says. First one he says is Vedaha nityam adhiyatam. I have told you about this last time itself. Improvement in our life cannot take place without we transform information into practice. Any knowledge becomes stale and useless if it is not proved as experience. Whether it is technical knowledge, professional knowledge, any knowledge that you take, you keep it as a mere information does not lead to transformation. That what is transformation? Where the information becomes a confirmation. Yes, it is. Who knows? I. So when I come to know that knowledge which is imparted to me, given to me, is true. Not because somebody said, somebody proved. No, I have to prove myself. I am proving myself. It is called improving. I am proving to myself. That is called improving. It is possible. I am possible. That is, then there is no anything called impossible. So, nityam vedaha adhiyatam. Nityam, always, Veda knowledge, Adhiyatam study. So whether it is professional knowledge or anything, unless you update yourself, you are obsolete. In this world of competition, if you do not update yourself with the right knowledge, then you are not going to be of any use to the world around you. The knowledge becomes a very important security for a person only when he knows that he is deriving maximum out of it. So books after books, we have collected books, but nothing has collected on our head. When I was teaching in Sandipani, I told at the end of this course of 2 years, when you go back to your own place where you came from, and somebody asks, what did you study? What did you learn in these 2 years? You say, shh, see the truck behind? That is full of books coming. I said, what did you learn? Not what did the truck learn. In some houses you see so many books. What they have read, I don't know. It's become shelf knowledge, not self-knowledge, shelf. So, Nityaha Veda, Nityam Veda Hadiyata. Vedas here does not mean, and traditional meaning is Rigyajus Sama Atharva Vedas. But Shankaracharya is very clear here, because we don't even know the language, Sanskrit. How do you read? So, be in touch with the knowledge from the people who have that knowledge. So, they can impart you that knowledge, and make sure that knowledge is not remaining only as just a collection of data here. And today what we find is the children are bombarded with so much of knowledge. iPad, everything is there. You can learn anything under the sun, or about the sun also. But that is not knowledge. What you live, that is knowledge. So the teacher also doesn't talk out of the book. If you ask a question, wait, I think it is here. Wait, I have it. That means a professor. It has to come from here, it has to come from here, from the heart. So, Nityam at all times, pursue that knowledge. So that is the first instruction he gives. Update yourself again and again. And no day you spend without learning something. And human birth is so precious. Only in this birth we really can improve ourselves. When you become a crocodile, I don't know why I get only crocodile in my head. Become any other dog or a cat, what can you learn? How will you learn anything? Is it not such is the human birth? If you don't use this human birth to learn, it's a great indeed is destruction. So knowledge is a privilege that we all have in this human birth. Let us not waste. Every day learn something. And learn something that can make you go a little, even a small inch forward. Move forward. So that is what is the first instruction is. Vedo nityam adhiyatam. Adhiyatam. Dhi is to intellect. Adhiyatam. May you be informed with the right knowledge. Then immediately following that he says, knowledge is useful only when it is put into action. Tad uditam, what comes out of that knowledge? Tad uditam karma su anushtiyatam. Whatever the knowledge is given to you, find out how I can make it into an action. How can I make it into a practical experience in my life? He is very clear. Don't just theorize everything. If it is not practical, just leave it. Our Gurudev used to say, don't ever believe that just because I say it. If it is not useful to you, just don't even bother to come back. But if you find that what is said here is useful to you, don't ever compromise on that. Tadudidam karma suanushtiyata. That action that can be made out of that knowledge, follow it very, very carefully. Sushtu, well, anushtiyatam. Anushtana means to follow, to abide. Anushtiyatam. May you abide by the action that is coming out of that knowledge. So you may give a lot of education to our children, but real education starts only when they get out of the school. Until then, it is only theory. They learn for 5 years, 10 years, whatever they learn. But real experience comes only when you... Yesterday I was talking to someone, day before. He said, Swamiji, in the medical college, they tell us about, intrusion and then some other... we really don't learn anything. Only when patients are in front of us, we start learning. That's why it's called practice of medicine. We do not know how to do it until we start doing it. So I said, what about your rotation? We keep rotating. We do not know exactly what we are doing. We really know when there is a patient in front of us, then we really come to learn about how to do things. So you mean to say we are all guinea pigs? Sort of, Swamiji. Yes. Oh, what a tragedy. So one patient was coming out of the operation theatre and he was looking dazed. So the nurse asked, why are you looking dazed, I think the doctor said it was successful. Is it not? The patient said, yes. And before that he said something. What? Oops. So we really learn more when we apply it only. That's why the teacher is best only when he is teaching. Studying is, anybody can study. Teaching is where the knowledge is tested. And you do really know, you do really understand what you are talking about. Any field, when you do it, you know how much you don't know. Or how much you know. So, tad udidam karma, the action that comes out of that knowledge, su anushtiyatam, practice it very well. So, two instructions. Even in a general sense also you take. Learn, update yourself every day. No day should pass by without you moving ahead little bit in whatever field, not necessarily in spiritual field alone. In whatever field you are, move a little ahead every day. Don't get satisfied, oh, I know everything. That's the dangerous zone. Especially in the world of spirituality, one should constantly move forward. Many people say, Swamiji, I'm getting bored, it's the same thing ever. That means you are not learning. And you will have the greater urge to learn only when you put it into action and you know, oh, I don't know about this. Then you will go back and try to find out what is that gap between my action and my knowledge. Right? When you put into practice, you know there are certain areas you are not sure about. Then you go back, find out what it is. So that constant enthusiasm to move forward. Vedo nityam adhiyatam tadudidam karma swanushthiyatam. These two are general instructions. Then he says, now let us come to specifically to spiritual life. In spiritual life, meaning where the individual is recognizing oneself as the spirit and not just the matter. That is what is called spiritual life. Atma Satyam Sat Sarvam Anityam. That Atman is the truth and anything else is impermanent, relative. That is spiritual life. Spirit is true and matter is transient. It is temporary. So that spiritual life, if you want to take yourself into, then let that action that has come out of your knowledge be dedicated to God. Tena, by that knowledge, by that understanding, by that action, tena karmana, ishasya vidhiyatam, teneshasya vidhiyatam. Through that, go towards God. Nothing special you need to do, whatever you do. May that be a means to reach Him. So whether it is just a housewife, or you are an engineer, or you are a doctor, you are a lawyer or liar, whatever it be, let that whatever you do be a means to know God, not N-O, K-N-O-W, to know. So action need not be a special action that you have to do, but make every action special. Every action specially directed towards knowing the Lord within. And that is possible when you dedicate that action to the higher cause. Tena ishasya vidhiyatam. So the third instruction he says that let that action be a dedication to the Lord. Whatever be your idea of God. It may be you may say He is in the heaven, or He is here, He is there, whatever it is. Or He is inside, within me as my own self. Be aware. Your action is a dedication. Whether you do at home or at work or anywhere. Dedication means what? I don't do it for a personal reason. That's why immediate instruction next is Kamye Madi Stejjatam Apachitihi. At once, make sure that your mind is not caught up in your personal agenda or desires. As much as possible, let the actions be for a higher cause and do not do only those actions for personal reasons. Even if we take up one action every day that is for the sake of greater purpose than for personal satisfaction or to seeking something for one's own, to that extent we become free. We become pure. That is why he said it's a choice is yours. In human life, the choice is always there. Because we can think. We can think and change ourselves. Vedo nityam adiyatam taduditam karma swanushtiyatam teneshasya vidiyatam apachitihi kamye madistyajatam. It is very difficult for us to get our minds out of desire because we have always practiced to satisfy our desires only. A desire comes to our head, first thing we do is, how do I satisfy this? Shankaracharya shows the way. He's saying that desire, when it arises in your mind as a thought, as a demand, there are two choices that you have. To satisfy is what you know. To question is what you need to start. Why should I need this? Is it so demanding that I cannot live without it? Have I not lived without this before? Swamiji, all are not sannyasin like you. Some people say, Swami, actually it's not for me. It's for my child. It's for my wife. And if you ask the wife, he'll say it's for the husband. If it's the husband, it's for the wife. Just 2 days back, I was in somebody's house. And just nice house, beautiful house. And they had the wooden floor, dark, teak wood or whatever floor. So before I went to that house, that man said, Swamiji, we have to discuss with you something serious. Okay, fine. Is it some spiritual question he's going to ask? When I reached there, I looked at this beautiful floor. I said, what a beautiful floor you have. Well, nicely polished. And Swamiji, that is the problem. What's your problem? He said, she wants it, I don't want it. This is our problem, I want to discuss with you. I said, what am I going to do with this? You have to make a decision. Why should I make a decision? It's your house. Hey, if you ask me personal questions, it's such a beautiful one. It's a big hall and it is nice wood. It's good. Swamiji, maintenance is the problem. The wife said. Now I asked, who wants it and who doesn't want it? Tell me, I'm getting confused here. Then the man said, she doesn't want it because it's too much to clean and other things. I said, okay. No, you said you don't want it. And they started fighting with each other. I said, now you please tell me who is actually which side. Finally, it shows that both of them want it. I said, then no problem now. Why did that come now? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Kamya madisya. So our whole thing is, how do I satisfy my desire? Why don't you question it? Do I need it? And even if I need it, is it so urgent now? Without that I cannot live. I am telling you, any such demand, if you question or leave it for a while, it just disappears. If you hold on to it as very important, then it becomes, it could start controlling you. I'll see it tomorrow. Just leave it for a while and just move ahead, do something else. So, desire, Krishna says very clearly, Dehendriya manobuddhihi asya adhisthana muchyate. This desire have staying in three places. Dehe, Indriya, Mano. Fourth place. Dehendriya manobuddhi asya adhisthana. Edir vimohayatyeshaha jnanam avritya dehinam. Because when you do not know how to handle it, it will hold you. So then, the fourth instruction he says is that don't take your desires too seriously. They are just temporary demands of your mind. Just give up importance for a while and move ahead, and then you will find that it doesn't have the power to hold you. Unless somebody keeps reminding you again and again. So 4 instructions at least. Keep your knowledge updated. Vedo nityam adiyata. Find out how you can make that into action. Tadudidam karma svanushtiyata. Third, direct that action towards as a dedication to God. Realize or discover God through that action. Teneshasya vidhiyatam. Fourth, if you have to do that, you must not be preoccupied with your desires. Apachidihi kame madisthyachatam. It's simple. It's actually, wisdom is very simple. The path to liberation is very simple. We complicate ourselves. We are so complex entities, perplexed. All the time complex and perplexed. We go to multiplex. The mind is so complicated. Just come down to the bare minimum, simple. So we will see more about this in the next session also. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।